Today we are taking it where it goes again. Two students were here, and years later, one of them is coming as a leader in education. Hi, my name is Donald Onali, and welcome to the NodPodcast, where we document people who went from humble beginnings into remarkable success stories. So,
start behaving like it. And then one day, an educator.
but yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Letsika to the NodPodcast. How are you, my brother?
No, I'm good, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Hey.
I know it took some time for me to avail myself, but life happens.
Yeah.
But I'm here now, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to come and speak to you.
Yeah.
Speak to my life story.
Yeah.
It also gives me an opportunity to also reflect on my own. Seldom do we ever reflect. So hopefully in our conversation, there'll be a lot of reflection and what we can contribute to make this community that we're from a better place. Make sure that young people, wherever they are inspired and they're motivated through my life story. So thank you.
That's exactly what we are quite looking for, and there's no other. I keep on saying this, even though you don't believe me, but I don't think there was someone that I wanted to have this conversation with from the first episode, mainly because of myself. I'm inspired by your journey. We grew up just around about the same generation in the very same school. I think when I got here, I think you were exiting or something. Because I remember, 2011. I got here 2011, and then we used to know, hey, I'm Mutlalifi. And then I'm like, who's Mutlalifi? And then my sister had to tell me about you, and then like, because in the generation, you kept that circle close. Yes. How was that?
No, that was very interesting times in my life. There was a lot of competition amongst us. Some would say we're the elites. In terms of scholarship, because we're always fighting for position one. Although I never got position one because there was somebody always stronger than I. But those are very interesting times, very fun times. In fact, we've had to do a lot of growing up, and sometimes I'm very nostalgic about those times. It's like I could be in grade 12 again and not have any problems at all. My problems would just be attending extra classes and just reading. But those are very fun times, I must say.
No, that's understandable. And speaking about not having problems, I think we're gonna dive deep more on that. I think that's what built us.
Of course.
Maybe from a background point of view, who's Leqoalane, who's Motlalifi. This name, I don't know if you're fine with Motlalifi.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. In fact, I'll tell you, it's not even my real name. It's a nickname that was given to me by my great-grandmother at birth. A few weeks after I was born, I don't know what inspired her to call me that. But that's a name that I mostly grew up with from grade 1. In fact, from birth until I finished my matric, and then I was only introduced to my real name at matric when I knew that, no, you're not Motlalifi, you're actually Letsika Leqoalane. So I was like, okay, no, this one, it's your grandmother, great-grandmother that gave it to you. But I'm having that name sort of inspired me to move beyond boundaries. Because you could not be called Motlalifi and then be doing the opposite. So for me, I grew up around the name. I learned to love the name. I still embrace it even today. Anybody, in fact, if you call me Motlalifi, I really know that you know me, where I come from. I grew up around here. I was born here in Heilbron, just at the dawn of democracy. people will know when that was.
Yes.
Just at the dawn of democracy. And I started my schooling here. I went to crash at Itumeleng, just here, Kazondi, and then I moved to, I can't remember the name of Itumeleng, up there. Or is it, maybe I'm confusing them, but I attended 2 crashes around here.
Oh, okay.
And then I started my grade 1 at Garabit, but I then left for Buitumelong in town, where I also completed up until grade 7.
Sure.
And then I moved to Sidibatuto here at grade 8 to grade 12. And initially I wanted to go to Pirituna because at the time it was the buzzword around the township.
Oh.
And my great-grandmother said, no ways, we are going to Sidibatuto. And I accepted my faith, and I think I do owe much of my success to both my grandmother and this school as well, for giving us the kind of educators that inspired us, that took care of not only our academic growth, but of our personal growth as well, because they would be interested in what you do even after school. What are you getting up to? Are you reading? What are you reading? What are you doing? Do you have activities to do at home? So basically that is my life in Helebron in a nutshell.
No. I think what I can take from that story, I think everyone will agree. I think your grandmother has been the central part of everything.
Yeah.
Maybe how is it? I'm just like, because of she's the one with the name.
Yes.
And then the schooling as well.
Yeah.
So
even later in my university life, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I think there's many of us, but I think she's always had a much liking for me, particularly because I was a very sickly child in my toddler and whatnot. And she's always wanted me close to her, and that's how we sort of developed a relationship. And she used to work as a domestic worker. She would bring me books from her work. And then later, other family members, they would give me books, I would read. So my childhood was different in that I could not go outside and play with other kids most of the times, because I grew up with asthma, by the way. So going outside would also trigger an attack, and I would come back home sick. So they said, no, sit inside the house and hear books. And that's how I got to love books and become what I am today.
Yeah.
So she's really played a very central and critical role in me becoming who I am.
No. That's an interesting part, because I'm like, all right. But yeah, I think maybe we can take it there, because of from what you're saying right now of you being, I'd say, the sickly child, like you mentioned. Do you have any siblings? How was life?
Yeah, I do have 2 other siblings. I think one is 21, 20, and then the other still in grade 6 presently. And then I grew up more with my great-grandmother than my mother. But my mother is still alive, and that's the family that I know. And then there's a lot of extended family. We are a very big family. You go to any part of this township, I probably have family there. So I grew up around a community that took care of me, a community that cared for me. And I must say, a community that really loved me. That community being my family, of course.
No. I think when you mention the community as well, I wanted to ask you, how was it like? How did success look like in our community in those days?
Well, it depends. My view on success has progression.
Yes. In
terms of when you're in grade 1, you are looking at somebody in grade 7 as the pinnacle of success. I just want to get into that class so that I can be a prefect as well. When you get to grade 7, you look at somebody in grade 12, you're like, I want to get there. Yeah, so my view on success has always been progressive, in that you're always leaning towards something. But in the township, we used to have those guys with very nice cars, tinted windows, pumping R&B,
sure.
With a window half cast, nice Mazaza. And you look at those guys and you think, one day it will be me. Yeah. So it's always been such things. And in terms of my scholarly view, I've always seen my family members, I think at the age of 10, 11, 12 maybe, we were accompanying Mema Ranzebe to her first or second graduation, I think, honors graduation. And I sat there and I thought, wow, is this really possible for somebody who's black and from somebody who's from where I am? And I found that to be one of the biggest motivating factors, that I would like to see myself within the walls of one of the greatest universities in the country. She was at UJ, then now UJ. Yeah. Then it was called Rand African University, before the 2003 measure.
Sure.
But I've always seen it as progress. When somebody made progress in their lives, I've always thought this is what it means to be successful. It's never been for me tied to money.
Yeah.
It's just been about uplifting yourself, and that's what success looked like for me.
Oh, no, interesting. You're very interesting. I think having a figure which kind of like you said, in terms of success, it's progression and how you see it, right? And you always strive to achieve the next goal.
Yeah.
The next goal.
Yeah.
And then, like you're saying, from grade 7, you look at grade 12, like, I want to be there. Then we get to grade 12, like, I want to go and graduate.
Yeah. It's even worse, because when I got to first year, I was a young guy who came into class and introduced himself as Dr. Somebody.
Yeah.
And when I thought about people that are called doctors and professors, I thought you had to be wrinkled, a lot of beard, you have to be... I had a picture, but then I saw this young man. I said, this young man is no more than 35 years old, yet he's referring to himself as doctor. And he was qualified to call himself that. And then that began a sort of spark to say, okay, no, if you could do it, then I could probably do it. Yeah. So
no, that's great. And we'll touch more on the university life, and I think that's more where many things happened. But going back to, let's take it back to this classroom or your high school or your pre-primary. How was Mhlalifi? If you were to look back and say, okay, this was the guy.
One, I've always been an introverted, sort of shy person. I've always been, had a very small frame. So much of my life, I've always been introverted. So to gain recognition or to gain favor with my peers, I would do extraordinary things. I think as soon as grade 4, I started in the debate team. I started in the public speaking team, so that at least you don't have to see me physically, but with my voice, you know who to associate that voice with. And then I remember I was coached by one of my late great grandmothers, Mamuto, as I said, who also inspired me. And she coached me up until grade 7. We went on to win public speaking competitions. I started leaning more towards public speaking than debate. So when I got into secondary school, I continued with public speaking, but then I picked up something else. I started playing Scrabble competitively, and I think I did very well with that one. We were coached by Ntate Mutsumi, Ntate Tsotesi, Ntate Leqequ, Ntate Levi, Molefi. And then they started coaching me and my other friend, Tsolofelo. And I remember the first competition we played was in Johannesburg. They took us to Johannesburg, we played there. And then I impressed, and then I started now playing professional Scrabble. So every other month I would play in Johannesburg, win a few tournaments. In fact, that's how I got my first cell phone. That's how I got my first laptop, by winning them. Yeah, and then I played in international tournaments in Asia. I've played in Thailand, I've played in Singapore, I've played in Malaysia, the Philippines, Sri Lanka. There's one I'm forgetting, but I'll remember it as we go. So I think I was quite a diverse person in that I had hobbies, reading, playing Scrabble, public speaking, and I also remained grounded to what the academic project was at the time, finishing high school and primary school. And I think from that you meet people of different values, you meet people of different visions that are able to sort of shape you into a well-rounded person. And that's how I got through high school. Every sphere of my life at that time, for me, I had somebody that I looked up to and said, I want to be like this. And that's how I got through high school. Another motivating factor was the situation at home, because we were so many. We didn't grow up in an ideal household. We were not the most well off. But I then used that situation to say, you need to get out of here. I always tell my friends of another month where my great-grandmother bought 5 liters of acha, and we would eat acha with almost everything. Today it's up, tomorrow it's bread, tomorrow kidding, tomorrow, So I looked at that acha and I thought, hey, but we see people eating steak on TV. Why is there no steak here? And then that sort of motivated me to say, but you can grow beyond this. And it's those kind of things. Eating papa kalabese every day when you come back from school. Not having holidays like other people. So it sort of motivated me. The holidays would be to Orangeville, where Memaranzebe would be. And then go and play there by the dam. And it also connected me to nature, which is something that I like. So I think I was brought up as a whole person. It's only now that everything is coming into full circle. As I think about it, that I realized, okay, the purpose of this was this in my life. And now that I'm a grown up, it's coming into a full circle. But I think my high school and primary were the most formative stages of my life, into becoming who I am today.
Interesting, man. And again, your story, it just means like I can just imagine. But one thing that in what you just summarized right now, and your accolades in terms of Scrabble, you kind of like took your introvertedness to be something. You took your weakness, weakness, and then you managed to turn it into your strongest point, because of, I think when you get to public speaking, you expressed yourself.
And it's all because one of my late great grandmothers would always make an example of Brenda Fassie. Apparently Brenda Fassie was very introverted, but people would not say so, because every time she took the stage, she knew she had to do her best, and then only after she crawled back into a little cocoon. So I took that advice and said, you know what, every time I'm on stage, let me do the business that I'm supposed to do on stage. Then I can crawl back into being the little boy that I was then. And that for me has always worked. Even in the lecture rooms where I present my lessons, you get students saying, "Oh, this was one of the best lessons that I've seen." But when I reflect on it, I don't think it was all that. But that is how I am.
Yeah.
That is how I am. Yeah.
Did you ever get into trouble by any chance, whereby, like, obviously you were growing up, but did you ever get into trouble?
It depends. Of course, as children, we are naughty, and of course, you do a lot of silly things.
Yeah.
But I was not really a troublesome child. It would just be normal things that all kids do.
Sure.
Stealing sugar here and there, you see. But I was not really troublesome. And in any case, we grew up in a house where beating children was not really, it would just happen then. And when it happened, you knew you've crossed the line. Yeah. So I would not say I was a troublesome child, mostly because there were other people that were trouble. Yeah. Some in the family, so the attention was always on there.
On that side.
So I knew from then that I must not become like this. Therefore, because I would then get a beating. Yeah. Exactly. So I think there were people that were troublesome, but I don't think I was.
You tried to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because of, I think, you saw how the consequences of being
exactly.
It will cause you to now end up crying.
Yeah. You see, so
no. That's really interesting, and again, like you said, and I now reflect on this very same classroom. I think when you mentioned it, it's what formed that foundation for who you are right now. And if we were to take a moment to these walls, right? I just have a simple one to say, if we were to ask this wall, the very same walls that you are in now, what do you think they will say about Letsika?
Sure. That is a lot to take in. But these walls, I think, have seen my doubts. These walls have seen my weaknesses. These walls have also seen my greatest strength. I'll say my doubts because these walls have probably seen me in an examination room, struggling with answers, not sure if I'm right or wrong. They've seen my weaknesses in me not being able to participate fully because of thinking I'm not competent enough to answer certain questions asked by educators or in a group work sort of setting. And they've seen my greatest strength in that they've shaped me to be who I am. And coming back, I think they would be smiling to think of the kind of person that they shaped. I think we started here in grade 8. I think I was in Mr. Awa's class. He gave us life orientation.
May his soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in peace, yes. So I think they've seen everything about me, these ones. And I'm really grateful for these ones. And they've given me some of the best educators, some of whom I still talk to up until these days. I mean, when I started teaching, I used to bother Ntate Nitsianda, who gave me geography from grade 10 to 12. A lot, because I would not understand. I would ask, how did you do this with us? And then you say, you remember now how you were. So I thought then they've seen the worst and the best of me.
No, that's good. I think that's what I wanted to wrap up that part of just being in these classrooms, and whereby I don't think we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We tried to do our best in academics to be able to compete out there.
The thing about these walls and the people who are here is that they give you hope. I know as kids, we think of our educators as boring, or Mr. Awa would stop mid-lesson and try to motivate us. And at that time, it did not make sense to some of us. And we thought, oh, here goes this old man again.
Yeah.
Ramping off about what it means to live and to be successful. But now that you see it, I think they give you hope.
Yeah.
And the faith that you need to go out in the world and become the best version of yourself.
No, that's true. And he's one of the guys who, like you said, you just stop mid-session and then he'll just tell you about life in general. Yeah. And he was so one of those people who, even outside, he'll stop you and say, hey, Poison, you know, don't, like, now when I was in matric, he usually, because he passes by home and then he'll see me outside there. He's like, hey, stop studying, my brother. Like, go and play with other kids and whatnot. And at that time, it didn't make sense because I wanted to do best. He was my life science teacher then. He's like, but like, go and enjoy because of I was really like straight. But that balance, he always encouraged us to balance life. And later on, when you see it, you're like, okay, I see where he was going.
Yeah.
And so we are very grateful. And now it takes me to my next question of, I think these walls, I keep on referring to these walls because of my next question. Then you get here, you do your matric.
Yeah.
Very from what I could hear even on the walls, around the corridors. English, geography. And now I wanted to get to the side their career choice. I was invited to a career day yesterday, and we had to motivate the grade 7s. And from there, they wore regalia of what they want to become.
Beautiful.
You know? And you could see, even when they speak, why did they choose to wear like that? It was very heartwarming. Like, I was just there, I'm like, how can a 7-year or a grade 7 say such things? And when I reflect about me, I'm like,
at grade 7, you were not saying such things.
I was at period, I was getting a beating. And that's when I was like, we never got those opportunities. Yeah. And I wanted to maybe bring it to you of maybe where you draw inspiration from, maybe I'd say career-wise, and maybe you can add why education.
A lot of my motivation came from home. Like I said, Mema Ranzebe is a teacher and a principal. Mema Mutlu was a teacher as well, as a school leader. She was a departmental head. So in my early years, I've always been around educators. Mema Peak was an educator. So I've always had an insight into what it means to teach and how do they teach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I got here. In fact, in my primary years, I'm sorry for taking us back. No. When there was no teacher in class, I would then stand up. And just to do maybe something that we did last week, or something that I think would be of interest. And some of my classmates would find it annoying, but they would do it at the end of the day.
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They would do it at the end of the day. And it would then help keep the class quiet and disciplined. And then that continued also in grade 8, 9, up until grade 12.
Yeah.
When there's no teacher in the class, I'll just stand up, do something with my classmates. Some appreciated, as I said, some did not, but I did not care at that point.
Yeah.
because I was figuring out what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a lawyer, but that idea quickly faded, and then I changed. I wanted to do geology, and I thought, but what is the human impact? Yes, of course, finding new precious stones or whatever that would enhance technology or humanity or whatever. But for me, it did not have impact enough. And then one day in Tatel, I was like, no, if you want to be something, start behaving like it. And then one day, he was late for class. And already I started teaching the day's lesson. And then he said, oh, I did not mean you must take my job. But at that point, I had already formulated an idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a teacher. And I remember in my grade 12 year, Mr. Khatev, the then principal, called me into his office and said, I hear that you want to become an educator. I'm here to discourage you because your marks are so good. You can do something else. I said, but why do we expect of our educators then to not be people that do very well in grade 12? Why do we want those who passed with Matota scores to be educators? Why can't people with very good grades become educators? And he said, no, go and think about it. Whilst I edit, write me a full page of motivation. Why you want to become an educator?
Really?
And then he said, no, go, write it, come back tomorrow, let's discuss. And then I went into the library, I collected a few books on education. I started reading, and then I wrote that letter. And upon that, he was still not convinced. After reading the letter, he was still not convinced. And then Macedonia, I think she was the deputy principal. Deputy principal. Whilst we were discussing with Tate Khatev on the side, he said, hey, buzzer reforms for education that you want to do. Fill this one, I'll take them personally to Bloemfontein. And then we filled them on the side. They went to Bloemfontein, I got the buzzer, I got acceptance. And then almost, I think when we started our final exams, he asked again, Nemo, did you apply for anything else? I said, I applied at UFS for education, I applied at the Northwest University for education. Whichever one takes me, I'm going. He was not very convinced. But I think I had an idea of what I wanted to do. Because I had the love of geography, the love of literature, in the form of English then, because it was offered as a package. And then that's when I decided this is the path for me. And it's only when I got to varsity that I dreamt, I just wanted to be an educator. I just wanted to teach geography because it was taught to me so beautifully that I thought nobody could make any other concept easier. And I wanted to do that for people that would come after me. And it's only when I started working that Ndate Khatev understood why I picked education. And we had a long chat. In fact, a day after he employed me, he came back with the letter that I wrote in grade 12, 4 years later, and said, do you remember this letter? And that's when I then said, this is exactly why I chose education.
Interesting, man. I've never in my life heard such a story. Like, I've never. But I want to know, during that moment where you have to write the letter, you have to motivate, you have to convince this person who has high authority on your studies, and they say no. Before I can allow you to do that, motivate. How did you take that? Personally, how are you feeling at that time? Sometimes we have teachers whereby at the time we say, we're not about to get to pillow and all of that. So I want to understand how are you feeling during the process. And
I was very excited to be writing that letter. I was not offended. I did not take it as demotivation. It was an opportunity for me to say to this person, this is why. And I think one of the examples I used in that letter was himself. because he became principal, I think at 34 years, 35 years.
Early age, yes.
Yeah. And he had only spent about, 3 years in management. And I said, here's a living proof of what it means to become an education leader, a teacher. This is the pinnacle. This is what I want to do. And I think when we sat in a meeting the day after he employed me to show me that letter, he reflected to say, I think I might have played a huge role also in you becoming a teacher, because for me, he used to drive this other BMW that I liked. I think it was a 320.
Yeah.
I still remember the registration. I think it was DDT 313 FS. If it was 313.
313.
And when he arrived at school, he would arrive at 6 o'clock. Very nice in a suit, very polished.
Exactly.
He would always be playing on his beard. But you could see that this is the pinnacle of what it means to become an educator. And I said, I want to be exactly like this. Yeah. No. So for me, writing that letter, it was not, I did not take it in any negative way.
Yeah.
I was excited to write it. More so because I read books on education, and I said, this is what I want to do. Yeah. Why are you stopping me? And at the end of the year, he considered, said, okay, it's fine. Go and do it. And then I think my very first practical that I had to do, I did it here.
Yeah.
To say, you are going to see why I want to become this. And he was very excited. In fact, the whole school was very excited to receive me. And yeah, it was a very fun experience writing the letter.
Very, very, very unique in a way, because of, I think, like I said, it's a different story that I've heard, that I had to motivate in writing to say, I want to become a teacher. And again, like you took it the way you did as a motivation to say, this is what I stand for.
And there were signs. Like I said, I used to teach when teachers were not there. Some educators would even ask me, when I was in grade 12, I remember I'd go and teach her grade 9s or grade 8s. And then they would do well in their tests and examinations. And I thought, this is a confirmation for me to do this. And I proceeded. And even if he had said no, I was still going to continue and force my way into
and to do it. Now, let's take it to varsity, right? And you are an introverted person coming from Heilbron, and now you get to varsity. Like you said, we have bursary, Shapu, acceptance, Monate, and then now you have to just go to varsity and do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, and being an introverted person getting into a new environment, how was that first few weeks of your varsity lives?
I hated the first week. Hated it. Because I chose to stay in a residence. And in residence, the first week is orientation week. You would know that. And you have to sing all these songs. You have to do all these activities. I think there was one day, I think we were arriving, and they said, you must stand up on a table. And then you must assume a position of a security guard. And then you must say, I'm security guard so and so, I reside in room mama. And that for me was the most humiliating experience. But I later learned to love it, because I always look at things in a positive manner. They took me out of my shell.
Yes.
Yeah. I got to mix with other people from all over the country.
Yes.
So it was I hated it, but I later got to find out why that was important.
Yeah.
And I had a very kind roommate, Tingo. He was from Lesotho. So because we arrived late at the rest, we're not allocated rooms.
Oh, yeah.
So when you arrived, they just said, I take this room, we're going out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So just drop your bags, we're leaving. So then, because he was the only person now that I had met, we just started conversing, and because some of his homeboys were there already, he started introducing me to people, and then I got to speak to people, and that's how I transitioned. Not to say I was now out of the extrovertedness, but I could relate to people in a much simpler and safer way. So a lot of me talking to other people is because of him.
Yeah. No. That's an important part, because I think when you get to varsity, and again from a big city, from a big university that you went to, I can imagine a shy person, introverted person, how you blend in. But when you mention it, orientation kind of like takes you out of that cocoon and try and integrate you to the university system. And it depends on you. Do you want to be part of this culture? Because of at the end of the day, you are alone there. Now you have to cook for yourself.
Now you have to cook for yourself, and hey, it was tough.
Yeah.
Because at home, I would come from school, meals would be cooked. When I left for university, my grandmother gave me pots and I did not understand. And they said, now you have to cook for yourself. And I had a terrible time cooking. In fact, my roommate Tingo is the one that took me under his stewardship to say, Chano. Because he was from Lesotho, so he's used to doing these things. He went to boarding school as well. So he was sort of used to that environment. And then he showed me a few tricks. I got it. But if I can tell you, there's still one thing that I cannot cook up until today. I can cook all sort of meals, but I struggle with pap, man.
I knew you say pap. Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So because of I know with myself, when I go to varsity, like it's kind of like the same story, because when I was in matric, and even you kind of like took an extra work that you had to do. I remember I'll run maybe past a classroom. You'll be in front teaching your peers, right? And you don't have any time to do anything. When you go home, you know the meal is prepared. Sharp. I have to just get slapa, and then it's bedtime.
Yeah.
In the morning, you come or morning class. And from that transition to university and get to now do everything by your own, it kind of like it's challenging. But if
it's a culture shock.
Yeah, it's very different, and I wondered how you manage to strike a balance a bit quicker so that you can actually focus on your studies or the reason why you are there. Because back at home, they'll be like, "Hey, my brother, you're there. You must pass. Come back home."
Yeah.
So and you mentioned your roommate played
a big role in that transition.
Because
he probably does not know it because I've never told him. He only knew that I could not cook, but he played quite a critical role in that transition because even when I was home, I would attend church in my very early years with my great-grandmother. But when I started high school, I did not see the importance. So I stopped going to church altogether. But when I was in varsity, my roommate would on Sundays go to church. And most of the times he would leave me there in the room. And when he comes back, he'd be like, "Chief, but why are you not going to church?" So he also started introducing me to church. And then I started going to church, and then I realized, but this is nice. And I feel like it's something that I want to do. So he played a very critical role in me being a full student, if I should say, at varsity.
No, that's interesting. And now I know in education you have, which again you're gonna maybe touch just a little bit with that so that we can follow through. We take practicals, and for the first time now you have to do I'd say a more formal Now you're no longer, what can I say, a peer. Now you have authority over learners. How was your, like you said, you did it here.
Yeah.
How was the experience? I think in terms of, again, the staff and all of that, I can just imagine how was that with you, and then maybe we can summarize it across your degree and all of that.
I think I might have received what would be called a baptism of fire. Because when we were at the university, we were told, no, you're going to schools. You're not going to teach yet. Just going to observe how teachers conduct their work in the classroom and stuff like that. Going to look at the school environment, and then you're going to come back and reflect on it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the first day that I came here, and Awa was like, because I was allocated him as my mentor for life sciences, and Atenetianda for geography. And both of them said, well, look, you have been teaching since your high school years. You know this concept. I think then they were doing in life sciences osmosis or something like that. It was something like that.
Yes.
And it was like, here's the textbook, here's chalk, here's a duster. What else do you need? So from the first day on of my practicals, instead of observing or doing what was supposed to have done, they all agreed that you're going to go and teach. But I did not have a problem with it because it was something that I was used to. And I think I was received quite well. As I said, the staff was excited. I see it now with my own students. It brings you so much joy to see what your hard work has fallen into.
Yeah.
So I think I had a good time. I had a few peers here as well, who I was in class with. We came together to do practicals from my grade 12 class. And there were people that were ahead of me as well. Bomafatle, Bomakanya, Botsodetsi. Those are the people who also facilitated or confirmed that I'm in the right space by mentoring, by ensuring that I've got all the resources that I need all the time, ensuring that I get to see some of the practices and to be a well-rounded educator. So I think I had a wholesome experience in the 4 years. I did change schools at some point, but going into those schools, I think the groundwork was already done here by the educators here, by other student educators here, and by the management here as well. So I think I went out knowing very full well what is it that I'm doing.
No, interesting. And I guess having friends, or I would say a support system, quite helps. There's that saying that they normally do: show me your friends, I'll show you your future in your way.
Yeah.
You know, and when you have, like you mentioned, Tapiso, Makaya, your Tukelo, and they share the same vision, and that's when you appreciate those people that were there who never made you go the other way.
Yeah.
You know, because there are those that they really want to see only themselves succeeding in their careers, and then they'll just dampen the other one's light, you know. But when you mentioned about friends specifically, and we need to choose the right ones. We never have a formula.
Yeah, there's no formula.
You kind of like feel it sometimes.
Yeah, in fact, I always think of life as it's not linear one, but there are certain people that you meet that you can tell here they might point me in the right direction. There are people that you meet that you definitely know that these ones they're not going to take me anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to stay away from such people who I do not benefit from. In fact, I prefer to be friends with people who know better than I do.
Yes.
Because if I'm the one that knows better, there's no value in me, for me, So I always try to associate with people that know better than I do.
No. And again, I think in terms of primary and secondary, you are this lovely public speaker, Scrabble guy, debate guy. You go abroad to compete, and it has been something that is in you, competing in a good manner, and that kind of like takes out the best in you, and one of your awards was the Dean's. I saw
the Dean's Medal.
The Dean's Medal.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was I don't know how I got it. Up until this day, I still don't think I deserve it, but it happened. I got in fact, in my undergrad, we're introduced to things like pass with distinction. This person has gotten their degree cum laude. And I thought, what is this thing of cum laude? And then I went into the policies. They explained, no, you need to achieve a certain grade above 75 or above in order for you to be considered pass with distinction, or for the degree to be conferred with distinction. And in my first degree, I missed this pass with distinction by 2%. And that 2%, I could have been condoned, but the other mitigating factor was that in my final year, because I had gotten into student leadership, there's one module that I neglected. And unfortunately, I had to come back for second op. And the condition is that if you have got a second op, we can't condone. So I could not get it cum laude or with distinction. But I then said, look, man, it's not the end of the world. I could still do a second degree. Probably pass it with distinction. And then I tried to enroll for an honors at the Northwest University. I've got quite a peculiar relationship with the Northwest University. When I first applied, I was accepted, but come January, there was no bursary, no nothing, no NSFAS, no bursary, and I thought, But the University of the Free State had already made headway. They said, Chief,
come here.
Come, everything is fine. Why not just bring yourself here? And then I went to the University of the Free State. 4 months later, the NW sends me a message. SMS, Chief, everything is fine now. Come present yourself and register. And I had already registered in Bloom. And classes already in sessions, and I was not going to drop, just so I could be closer from home. So I then left the university, the Northwest University, because I always wanted to go to varsity there. And then I completed my 4 years there. And then after I applied again at the Northwest University for honors. And then I remember I went to class for 2 weeks. And then I was sitting in the middle of class, thinking about these things that they were teaching us there. I thought, this is not for me. And again, it was compounded by the fact that I had to travel from Kronstadt to the Val every Tuesday and Wednesday. So it was both a distance thing and a money thing. And the fact that I did not want to do this. Because I think I was pressured into doing it. A lot of people that I went to varsity with started completing their honors. And I thought, I'm lagging behind now. And the next week I went to class, I think the first class. And then I left the class straight to the admin building. I deregistered the degree, drove back home, and then I started teaching. 2 years later, I went to the University of the Free State to register my honors. And then I did my honors there for 2 years. And God willing, I was told one day that you have received the Dean's Medal. I think it was a few weeks before graduation. I was told, no, you have received the Dean's Medal. Unfortunately, I could not attend the graduation because it was that COVID year. It was that COVID year, so we graduated like what do they call movie credits? Yeah, so that's how. Yeah, but I think the university did something special. They just had a small Anyana section to say, no, this is the recipient of the Dean's Medal. So I was very much appreciative of that. Yeah. The honors degree took me out of my comfort. I did an honors degree in curriculum studies because I've always wanted to be a subject specialist. So I did my subject specialization in social sciences, which is history and geography. Of course, I leaned towards the geography. And we met, or I met rather, brilliant scholars who taught us at the University of the Free State. And I remember meeting one Dr. Fru, who had just been employed there at the University of the Free State. And he said, look, I just got my Doctor of Philosophy degree. Just 10 years to do it from undergrad. And I thought, I already wasted 2 years sitting at home because I dropped out of Northwest University. And for me, since that day, I've just been going on and on and on. And that for me is part of, I think, why I received the Dean's Medal. The Dean's Medal is awarded to the best student in that year, the best result. Yeah. And I think I had summa cum laude for that year. Yeah.
No, bro. Like, when I saw that, I'm like, now,
no, it was merely a compensation for the undergrad. Because
it's like 2%.
Because I was very upset. Yeah. Well, not upset, sad. Yeah. Sad that I couldn't get it, and it would have been a defining factor for me. Yeah. But compensated with the honors.
Yes, sorry for that. They always say if, like, there are two different types of students, and there'll be those ones who get 90 something, right? And then they get angry that why didn't I get 100?
Oh no, not that kind of student.
Whilst they are us there, whereby we're like,
no, I'm not that kind of student.
You are angry that you got.
No, I don't consider myself that kind of student. Yeah. I do what I do up to where I can do it. Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm at 75% and I've done it until there, I'm satisfied. It's not to say I've never passed a module at 51 or 52%. There's lots of those in my undergrad. Yeah. But the majority of the modules, fortunately, I did very well. I think one of the most challenging modules for me in my undergrad was botany. My roommate always used to say, you're always sleeping by 8. And if there's one thing I also respect in my life is sleep. I was always asleep by 8, 9. Yeah. He was studying actuarial sciences. Oh. So he would cross night every day. When I wake up, he's only going to sleep. But when I started doing botany, we used to cross night together now. And one of those modules that I said gave me a second op was precisely that module because I hated that module. I hated that module. Yeah. But the challenge is built in.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
For you to cross the finish line.
Yeah.
It must be done.
It must be done at the end of the day.
No, that's very interesting, and congratulations on that. I think it adds that thing, and that's why I saw it on your LinkedIn profile, and I'm like, this one I didn't know about, and I was like, okay.
Which one is that one?
No, the Dean's Medal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I know how brilliant you are in your field and all of this. So when I saw that, I'm like, man, okay, this is something to talk about, And now here we are. We are doing this. We graduated. Now we're a teacher, professional. Now you get an appointment later. Now now you're going to earn something from I would say not having anything. Now you have a job. You're going to earn a salary. Maybe just briefly take us through your first appointment as a teacher. How was it? How was balancing now from not having money now? How was that experience?
It was a very nice experience. You look forward to the end of the month.
Yeah.
My first appointment actually was here in Helbron at Pitsana.
Oh, okay.
I was appointed to teach social sciences, grade 5, and mathematics in grade 6. One of my minors, by the way, is mathematics. Oh. So my majors are geography and life sciences, but I still have a mathematics minor. And that only took about 3 months because then my then high school principal, would require then a grade 12 educator. Oh. And then he said to the district director, look, man, there's somebody there in Helbron who's just gathering dust because he's not meant for primary school. And then they decided that I must go to Kronstadt. But I would say most of my salary was about making my great-grandmother happy. There's a lot of sacrifices that she made for me. Yeah. And I felt I needed to make her happy. Yeah. So not all of my salary would go to her, but I would make sure that she knows that I have a salary and some of that salary will go to her.
And that's not black tax. That's
no, I don't see it as black tax. I'm conflicted about black tax, but that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. But I don't see it as black tax.
And now again, you're mentioning two important role players in your career: your grandmother, and again now Mr. Khadeb. Yeah, I think it made me think if you did. I'd say now I'm relating to burning bridges. If you did or had this bad relationship with this person and them presented that opportunity to say, I need a grade 12 educator and I know he's good. I know how good he is. But because of that day, he did something, he wouldn't recommend you to that post. But of course, I think from his side as well, we must really appreciate what he did to say, this person, he knows you, he had that relationship with you, and he used, not because of favors or nepotism, but because of on merit. Yeah, you were there, and he could call and put his head on the block for you to say, please go and get that person. How probably when he's watching, probably the watchers will share the link with him to say, we really appreciate what he did for you, and maybe message.
And I must say, I always tell him this. With every appointment that I get, I always say to him, if it was not for you presenting that opportunity to me, I don't know in what level of the system I would have ended. I would have probably been a very better primary school educator because I did not like teaching primary. And I always say that to him, to say, you gave me that golden opportunity. And I think part of the motivation for him was that outside practicals, every school holiday, I would be here, assist him where I can. And sometimes he would remunerate me, but it was not for remuneration. For me, it was the gathering of experience, taking in as much as I can, so that when I do get appointed, I know what to do. And luckily, where they've always used me is in grade 12. So as soon as I started teaching high school, he said, I've got no doubt that in grade 12 will do well. And I think in our first 2 years, we achieved 100% of those learners in geography. And he said, this is why I brought you over.
Yeah. No, that's very remarkable, man. And again, we must really show appreciation to what he is. Having someone who believes in you, and like I said again, in terms of the merit, it's something else, and you're never disappointed.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate those people in our lives. And now we spoke about progression, right? We always want to move from grade 7, we want to go to grade 12. Is that now that mentality that you had now having to teach grade 12, you complete this 100% with your learners and all of that? How do we now move from being a teacher now to wanting to be a lecturer?
That was not the initial movement. I think I spent 5 years in Kronstadt, teaching grade 12, and then my departmental head then had to retire. And then again, Mr. Khatebe then said, I recommend this person, through the deliberations we had in the department, in any case, to be acting departmental head. So I started acting as a departmental head for about 3 months, until his friend in Fredefort, we did not know each other. In fact, he did not tell me until after the appointment that you're actually going to my friend's school. I applied at about 4 schools around the district, and then I think one of the appointments, I won 2 of the interviews. One was at Piretuna, but I was not ready to come back home. Yeah. And then I opted for the one in Fredefort, where I would then become a permanent departmental head. So I then, after getting that, the principal there, Tati Mahlahlet, who I'm also very grateful for looking at my CV and saying, this is the chap for the job. And then I spent 2 years there, and I think he was preparing me for deputy principalship. Should he have gone, or should have anybody gone, or should I have been appointed at another school? And then I said, look, I'm in a new role. The honors has prepared me for the departmental head, in terms of learning systems and policies of the department. But now, how do I prepare for the next phase of management in the sector? And I thought, let me do a master's. After spending 2 years not studying. I did my master's. I think I applied at the University of the Free State. But at the time that I started writing the proposal, because with the master's you must write the proposal first. You must see if it's fit enough for you to do the study, and then that's when my great-grandmother started getting sick. So I had to drop out. I'm a dropout. If I feel like something is not for me, I leave it. I don't shy away from giving up. I know when to give up. I know when to go back in. So I sort of dropped it and then focused on my work as a departmental head. Focused on getting my great-grandmother into health. Of course, it was a concerted effort from the family but I think she needed all of us. So I wanted to avail myself also to take care of her. And then a year later, I started my master's at the University of Johannesburg, to which I think I did fairly well, although I didn't get the entire degree with distinction, but the dissertation was also a distinction, and in academia, you are measured with your distinction. With your dissertation. So I think I did that. So with that master's, I was preparing for an eventuality that I would be deputy principal, that I would be principal, and unfortunately, even before I could be deputy principal, because the principals I've served under will tell you, you get this guy, he's not going to stay. And I've always maintained, in our first meeting, I always tell you, I'm not here to stay. I'm here to make an impact that I want to make, and then I move on to another project. And then I said to Mr. Khateben, I want to stay here in my second employment. I want to stay here for 3 years. I want to move to another school to test myself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I stayed for 5 years.
Jesus.
But at least there was progression because I was acting departmental head. And then when I got to Bipihlelo in Frederick, I said to the principal, look, I'm here for 3 years. I'm applying for deputy principal. And then this guy said, no, relax, man, you'll get promoted here. I said, okay, if it's here, it's fine. But just know,
that's why
I'm highly ambitious. Highly. I even apply for things that I can see here that I'm not going to make it. But I apply anyways to test myself. And I remember I had applied for a post at the Northwest University. That's why I say I've got a bittersweet relationship with the Northwest. But I've come to love it.
Yeah.
I applied for the first post. They needed a junior lecturer. I applied. I got through the interview. The worst mistake you could make with me is to shortlist me. Because when you shortlist me, you give me a glimpse of hope. That you've got what it takes. And when I prepare for that job opportunity, I prepare like crazy. I live that, even if you don't appoint me, but you know that I exist, that there's somebody like this that exists. Unfortunately, with the first interview, I didn't get the job at the Northwest University. And I was sort of, I don't want to say heartbroken, but I thought I was deserving. But it was also okay. I was still in the beginning stages of my master's anyways. Yeah. So it would have put much pressure on me. And then one day, I get a call from the Northwest University. They say, look, man, after your interview, we have created a post. Same level. Please, if you're still interested, come through for another interview. And I said, Ish, you're already interested, man. Why the interview?
Why another interview?
But I just said, let me just go to the interview.
Yeah.
I went into the interview. And this time I was not as motivated as the first time. Because I just thought, they just want to fulfill the interview processes. So I'm just there maybe to add numbers to what would be the shortlisted candidates. But when I got there, it was sort of different now. In terms, the panel itself was composed differently now. I think the deputy dean was there, the school head was there, the subject head was there. And I just went into the interview. I didn't prepare like the first time.
Like the first one.
Yeah, but I did do some preparation. Yes. And then I think a week later, they said, Chief, we've deliberated. We've got an offer for you. We're going to be sending you an offer letter. Look at the offer. Tell us what you think. And then by that time, I think I was approaching 2 years at Frederick. And then I looked at the letter, and the package was very handsome. And I said, there's no way. There's no way I'm letting this one go.
The numbers were numbering.
The numbers were numbering. They were making sense. Yeah. And then that's how I got into my first gig at being a lecturer. I was a junior lecturer first. And then recently I was promoted to lecturer. After obtaining the master's, of course. Yeah, so now we look forward to maybe senior lecturership, associate professor, maybe one day full professor.
No, man, that's a lovely journey, and progression has always been your thing. I think you always challenge yourself to do more, and I'd say in my world is short-term goals in a way, to say I'm here for this next 3 years. I must have achieved something in these 3 years and do more.
I'm sorry, but I was only at the Northwest for 2 years. And I thought on my third year, slides. But then I got a promotion. So I'm thinking now, let's stay.
Yeah.
Let's finish. I've recently also started my doctoral philosophy.
Yes.
So I just want to, in case my employer sees this, I'm staying.
Yeah.
I'm staying. I
Yes.
just want to finish it off, enjoy the process.
Yes.
We're doing a lot of great work at the Northwest University. We are training teachers, very good teachers. In fact, our program is regarded as one of the best in the country. And I enjoy doing that. And that's when you see that your work really comes into a full circle. From preparing learners for matric, for university. Now you get to prepare those students at the university for the place of work. And I'm not only growing in the classroom, scholarly I'm also growing. I'm finding my voice in academia. Usually there's a saying in academia, who are you within the body of knowledge? And when you ask that question, you need to define what is your research about, what authority do you have to say these things? And that is part of why I'm doing the PhD. So that when you say something, people don't look at you like, who's this one? Why is he being so bold? So the PhD gives you credibility. It also gives you a voice, to which I think, since I've started teaching, I've been developing that voice. Looking into how can we better teach geography? How can we be innovative in teaching geography? Because you and I were taught with just chalk and talk. And notes and textbooks. But how can we make it more appealing to students and learners?
No, that's powerful, man. And again, with what you have said now, and I know the employer will be happy that you're not going anywhere. Because again, it comes how you really sharpen yourself. You not only you challenge yourself, you move the way I see it. Even when you see that, for me to get to the next level, I'm going to need to
prepare,
and educate myself or upskill myself more for the next opportunity. Because from your departmental head, you had to do your honors and whatnot, and then when you get to the master's level, and you're like, okay, for me to have this credibility, that's when now I have to do my PhD. And that's, for me, is like, it's all about, like you said, the progression that you want to do. And when you get that as a lecturer now, teaching these students to becoming good professionals out there, and I can imagine how of a inspiring figure to them to say, because of we research about our lecturers, so that later now we can say, I was taught by this and this and this and this and this lecturer, which in academia they know each other. And now when you reference to that guy, like, I'm getting taught by the author of the book that you are reading, so you can't tell me that thing. And it's so motivating that we now get to reference certain things that you do in the career,
within the body of knowledge.
And one thing that I'd probably, from that perspective of shaping these students to becoming the best outside the varsity, to those struggling ones, I think not everyone is going to be best, and some others needs a bit of a push, a bit of motivation. How do you motivate struggling students? I've been there at Northwest University, by the way. I did until my master's level as well. And we could see other people or other students when we are together that the guy is struggling, man. And for you to pick him up, we can only do much as peer students, right? But when it comes to someone with authority or your lecturer coming down to that level to say, hey man, I'm seeing something. This is the way that you can do it. I can mention in my time, we had lecturers who go that level. So I can just, how do you motivate those struggling students?
I would say, unfortunately, university is a dog-eat-dog world. And unfortunately for us in education, you've got very large classrooms. So you're not always able to go to that level that I would when I was at primary or secondary school teaching there. So what I normally do, because what we know about what we know is built most of the time by our environment. And I always say to my students, always look at your environment first. Does your environment allow you to study? Does your environment allow you to intricately look into what is making you not progress? So I first start with the self-assessment. What is it about me that is not making me to progress? What is it about me that is making me to progress in other modules and not this one? Yeah. And I always say to them, avoid shifting the blame, because you get a lot of students that say, hey, that lecturer, I've got a few. You are not Jesus Christ. Nah. In fact, some people don't even like Jesus Christ. I don't know what to liken it to. But I try not to blame others. And when I was in university, I think I shared briefly with you that I had some horrible lecturers.
Yes.
But I look at it now and I think, yes, they were horrible, then what? Am I going to sulk and bask in the fact that they're horrible? I still need to look into myself and say, I can do this. So I always say, assess your environment first. Do you want to stay in that place where you are?
Yeah.
Do you want to come here for 3 years repeating the same module? No. If you say no, you've won half the battle.
Yes.
Because it means now you are aware of what you need to do. A lot of times, students already know what they need to do. Sometimes they're just negotiating with comfort. I want to pass this module, but I don't want to go the extra mile. I want to pass this module, but I'm not consulting with my lecturer. I want to pass this module, but I'm not attending class. I want to pass this module, but I'm not getting extra readings. So I always say then, do what you are not usually doing. So if you're not used to consulting, bother your lecturer. We get paid for it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes students don't even come to my office. I just end up using consultation hours for my own research.
Just research.
You see. So bother your lecturers, and your lecturers know best. And then change your crowd. Use the smarter people in your classroom or in your lecture room. That's what we did at university.
Yeah.
I think one of my friends, when he's chilling with his other friends, he'll always call me, hey, Mona, do you remember so-and-so from class? We were all friends together.
Yeah.
He said, yes. Hey, you were good, but he would always murder you. Because I've always had that affinity to be with people that know better than I do. So I always encourage my students do that. Another thing that I did last year, I had a couple of repeater students who said, look, man, you taught this thing last year, but we did not get it. And they were brave enough to come to me to say, no, we didn't get it. And what I normally do is, okay, sharp. Now, when I'm going to explain this thing, you're going to be lecturing with me in front of the class. So when we start with this topic, or we start with this practical, I'm not going to explain 1, 2, 3. The day before the lecture or the practical, you come into my office, we discuss it in length. When I come into the classroom, you are my foot soldiers. You know your classmates better than I do, because it's such large classrooms that we sometimes miss students. You only see when you calculate the semester mark that so and so is struggling, and by then usually it's a bit too late. So I also make use of my own students to do that support and encouragement.
And when you say that, it again comes to how you grew up. When you used to take an opportunity when you see one, whereby you'd come there and teach your peers. And that way, for me, when you repeat information
to others.
That's when you do it like that, that means you're still applying the very same thing that you learned from here. You're applying them there. And that's very powerful. And which brings me to a point of the students and now the learners. There is that young one in the same walls that we are right now. If you were to summarize, what are the tools that you'd say, my guy, with this one, you stand a good chance to compete out there? Just maybe a summary a bit for them. Here's a grade 9 learner who they have to choose subjects, by the way. Because of, in my experience, I did science, I did life sciences, but when I got to varsity, I did accounting, which is something that I never came across, but I had to do what I had to do and get to pass. And here's a grade 9 learner. What would you say to them in terms of succeeding, who wants to become a teacher like you? Probably, maybe it's broader for education as well, understand, but who loves geography as you, but that message to that grade 9 learner, what would you say to them?
Well, first you look at your current circumstances. What am I good at? What is my interest? How can I grow the interest? I think in grade 12, I didn't think that I would be doing a PhD in something education and geography related. But as you go through life, there are things that begin to shape you. So look at your current circumstances. And unfortunately, some people define hope as something that you need to get from somewhere, and then it builds you towards something. By the mere fact that you're breathing means you're hopeful. People are so, because most of us are scared of death. So the fact that you don't want to die means you're looking forward to something. So, but it means then motivation is already inside you. You wake up today, that's already motivation enough. The fact that it is instilled in you means you already have the tool that you need. Hope. And with hope, you can imagine many big things. I think there's one lady who says your dreams must exceed your current capacity to achieve them. That's why I said to you, even if it's a job opportunity that I do not qualify, that I know, say Stellenbosch now says, we want a senior lecturer, but I know I don't have a PhD yet. And they said the minimum requirement is a PhD. Trust me to apply. So you must always dream bigger than you can achieve now. That's how you move. Because with that feedback, you're then able to grow with thick skin. Unfortunately, in academia, you must grow a thick skin. You could write something and then somebody says, it's rubbish, man. I've seen a grocery list with much more substance than this. You see. So you need to be at ease with disappointment. It's not that we are where we are because everything has just been smooth. There's been a lot of rejection. I sit with a lot of rejection mails. You submit an article to somewhere, they say, no, and they don't even give a reason. You apply for a job, they say no. You try to apply for a study. I think I got rejected twice at UJ before I could even study my master's, because they could not see, why do you want to do this thing? So we must be at ease with rejection and disappointment, and must be able to deal with it. And it's knowing your capabilities as well. It's not that when you apply for something that is greater than what you are capable of now, you are saying, I don't have capacity. But you can't apply for something. Say you're a police officer, you can now apply for a senior lecturer. So you must put your things in alignment. And alignment is also a very critical thing to have. You must know, when I move from here, where am I moving towards? As soon as I'm done with my grade 9, I go into grade 10, I'm choosing maths and science. What is it that I want to do with maths and science? So you must already have an idea. You'll always change, but have an idea. What sort of impact do I want to make? Do I want to make an impact? What sort of job do I want? Do I want to be rich, or do I just want to be content with life and live quite content? You see. So those are things that I consider, and I think if other people could consider them, they would make it.
No, that's really powerful. Because I think that's why I reference to grade 9. I think that's more, we make life decisions. That's where we start making major decisions.
Another thing is, some people live vicariously through you, particularly parents. Because if, say, your mother or your father wanted to become 1-2, now, because you have that opportunity, they say, go and do MBCHB, Bachelor of Medicine. And now you just want to go into a Bachelor of Arts, creative writing. You shouldn't be sort of swayed by what your parents want you to be. There are people who are in the humanities space simply because they chose not to listen to their parents. One of my favorite musicians, Fela Kuti, the father of Afrobeat, he was sent by his parents to the UK, Europe, to be precise, to study medicine. And when he got to Europe, he said, I'm not doing these things. And he enrolled himself in music school. You go anywhere in the world today, you say Fela Kuti, they know them. And then his brothers were his brothers were all medical doctors, by the way. And then they said, look, you can't make this much money. And then after his first concert, they gave him a check. And then they had I think it was a family lunch or something. And then he took that check that you got, and he said, can any of your salaries match this? So don't allow people to sway you. You can, depending on your outlook, you can do many great things. There are many great authors, many great singers, many great scientists. Maybe they want you to go and do social work because they've never, but you want to be a scientist. Choose your own path. Dictate your own terms. You see, so that's what I've always done. And you'll see, because when people said, no, you can't do education, I said, I'll do it anyways. No. So for me, it's knowing what you want, knowing who you want to be, and knowing what the kind of impact that you want to make.
No, I think that's what we have to live by. Not listening to the out noise. I know sometimes advices are there to be taken and listened to, but if they don't align to what you want, what you inspire to be, I think you should just close your ears a bit, and try and, because I'm one of the victims that my parents wanted me to be a teacher, because I would do that, helping other learners and all of that. But when I got to university there, applying lead application, I was like,
leave this one.
I went to what I liked, which is mathematics.
Yes,
and from there, I never looked back. And it's in that context that I'm like, it's like I listened to you now. It's like when I reflect, I'm like, that's something that I would want them to really think about. And now looking back, obviously I said we will touch more on that now, the life after everything else. Because you're a guy with progression, and now you're busy with your PhD studies, and I wanted to, because we don't have same opportunities, or maybe other students might not be exposed to what we have. They have to go through side hustles to make things meet, and we usually don't see those guys. And from your experience and what you've been exposed to, again with your students as well, and how does that affect one? Because we're dealing with people, right? And I'm just like, from my side, how do you guys handle? Okay, you don't have maybe the luxury to have it from a personal perspective, because of the large group that you kind of like do it. But when you have someone, or when you see it from outside, how what would you say is, I want to put it in a more general manner, because of you know, but you'll understand me there, where some will go through difficulties. They'll have to fund their own studies. They won't have the ability to have bursaries and all of that. And that's the reality that we live in. And as someone who was there, and now as a lecturer, how best can one seek? I'd say it comes with information, and you were curious to wanting to do more. So in that context, with the learners that we have right now, I don't think they have that in their mind. And I want you to instill or plant a seed in them to say, not everyone is going to be a lovely path. When they deal with those struggles, how can they handle that?
I'll make an example, but let me make a disclaimer first. Nothing beats good grades. So if you want to go into tertiary education, the only currency you have is good grades. In our first year, I met a guy named Sinokal. Sinokal was from Khayelitsha, very impoverished. When he showed me pictures of where he's coming from, I thought I had it better in Helbron. But he was a top history student in the entire of Western Cape. And you know what got him to university? The vice chancellor noted him, and he said, "Come through, we'll pay for everything." That's what I'm saying. Nothing beats good grades. And I know I might be perceived as saying, with good grades, everything is fine. You still have your lower performing, not the best of students, and not equally not the worst of students. And for those who are sort of caught in the middle spectrum, I think it's just knocking on doors, finding out who's paying for what. I know, for example, that this municipality has helped students at least register. And once you're registered, you've been a student before. You are just a foot in. Then you go and knock in the university doors. Funding, as long as you are at a tertiary institution, funding will come from somewhere. Unfortunately, there are cases of students who are academically excluded. With my geography students, I always say, even after university and you don't get a job, there's no reason for you to be poor. We learn so much that we can practicalize in geography.
Yeah.
I mean, if we teach you what an informal sector is, what's stopping you from starting your own? You now have a degree, start a tutoring business.
Yes.
You can start a smaller poultry or vegetable garden and sell something, then fund your own next degree or whatever. So you just look at what you have, you work with what you have.
No, that's precisely what I was looking forward to, because I think it's not only for the young ones who are coming up. Obviously, we are setting the tone for them, but with so much unemployment, we want to take those advices and put them into practicality, and that's why precisely because of that was from my side to say how can one, but thank you for that. And probably maybe for you, I know we've touched on it when you're telling your story, but what's next for you? Right now we know that you're not going to resign. It's fine. But what's next? What are you inspired to be now? Let's look again 3 years now after this role that you've just been afforded the opportunity to hold. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
You deserve it. And how are you seeing it now for the next 3 years?
I think now it's embracing and having an appreciation for where I'm coming from. And having that appreciation is how I put it down in my Doctor of Philosophy study, in what I'm writing. I think my experience has culminated into the writing of this piece of study. And I think what will be a crucial contribution to the body of knowledge. And hopefully with my contribution, maybe senior lecturer, I don't know, God willing, we'll see. And it's just about enjoying the best that life can give me. I have delayed having a family. I've not started a family of my own. And I've always said I'll start one maybe when I get a PhD. So maybe it's time to focus on building a family of my own. Maybe having a wife, having a little one, I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I'm taking, not that I cease to be ambitious, but having an appreciation for life, having an appreciation of where I'm coming from, and continuing to live life the best way I've learned or taught myself to live it. For a long time, I did not have hobbies. I think as we're coming, I told you of some of my hobbies. I now enjoy hiking, I enjoy camping. So it's fine. It's just a lot of doing that, traveling, have an appreciation of the environment, nature. And it's just a cool off before ultimately, as I said earlier briefly, that with how I contribute and continue to contribute to the body of knowledge, I hope to earn professorship, whether associate or full professorship. But I think my life's experience what has built what I study now, and what the PhD will become will be what I will become in terms of associate professorship. Usually we say, or they say in academia, as a professor, what do you profess? And how you profess is in mostly your PhD. So what I'm going to write there will dictate the direction I take in terms of contributing to knowledge post the doctoral study that I'm involved in now. Man, so it's baby steps now, easy steps. I'm not in a hurry. I'm just appreciating what life has given me.
No, that's good, and all the best, for that.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to the little ones. But yeah, and I don't know, any final remarks that you have, any message that you want to tell the young ones and someone who's watching this?
I think first let's thank you for opening up such a platform to look at people that are from what many would regard as a dusty town. Sometimes when you drive or when you walk into this town, you smell the poverty, the socioeconomic challenges in this town. I don't think they should be a deterrent for anybody. I don't think they should be a challenge for anybody. In fact, they should be seen as an opportunity to better ourselves and to better our community. Personally, I'm still thinking of ways to contribute to the community. I don't think I've done enough, if anything. And it's to use what God has instilled in us and has given us to plow back. And part of doing this, having this conversation with you, is precisely trying to contribute to what this community could be. There are a lot of great people that have come out of this community, and some of them for me have been a great motivation. And in my own little way, I hope that I can also inspire somebody through the work that I do, to want to become a great also of this community. So I think if we hold each other's hands, we can do great for this community. Where we can help, let us help. Help is not only monetary. Where you think your skills can work, take them there. I've recently adopted an ECD center, an early childhood center, in Ritz, and I know people say, why not in Hillbrow? But it's because I've also been thinking about how to contribute to my church. So the ECD center is run by my church. So it's part of my faith, plowing back into what the church has built in me. And I hopefully one day wish that I could have the same, and I do not want to rush it. There will be ways that I can contribute here, make a personal contribution. And I think when that time comes, it will come. And I think if we can all have that vision, maybe even if it's just to come and help grade 12 students register or apply for university. Some people may say it's a small thing, but some of these kids, some of them have never touched a laptop. Some of them don't own a smartphone, so it would be something great. So in our little ways, we contribute, and perhaps through this platform, everybody that you invite here, we can all look at ourselves, come together, and think, how do we move this community forward from what it is? How do we make the young people here realize that they too have potential, they too have capacity, that, as I said, the socio-economic and material conditions here should not deter anybody from becoming who they truly are destined to become.
No. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to many more episodes, more series of this life-defining stories, which kind of gives us really tools that the young ones or the next generation can use to becoming better people out there. We want to document as much as possible, people to really tell their stories, give them their flowers while they're still here. I think like I said when I started, I wouldn't see anyone fit to be here with me as we embark on this journey than yourself. And we appreciate you. We'd like to thank you for coming, and really we're looking forward to contributing to the community when the time arrives, when it aligns everything.
Yeah.
And we will keep in touch and with the progression of the platform. And yeah, don't mind if they invite you on social media. So you'll see some people vlogging there.
Yeah.
Just know that they've watched us, and they really draw inspiration from your story, from your background, and really not only the success part. And I was just specific with that to get to know you and the whole journey that you did. And we thank you for your time. And yeah, man, we thank you so much. And hopefully it's not only on us. You can maybe reach out, because your story is really motivating and they want to hear it from you. And who else can tell someone's story except the man himself? So thank you so much, and we wish you all the best with your studies. We want to have that doctor there at the beginning. So thank you so much, man. And yeah,
no, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.